You're young and you're still building your life. Or you passed a certain age and you just came out of what I call phase 2. If you watched this video, you know what I'm talking about. And in the case, if you don't do it from purpose, in purpose, or on purpose, something else takes over. There is no neutral. If it's not purpose, it is at least one of these 10 substitutes. Pay attention. I'm Christian Sisson, founder of NewMeFy.com, an online space where you discover your purpose, become the new you, and start a new life. And I've rebuilt myself many times coming out of depression, addictions, and total collapse. In the process, I've cracked the code of purpose. This is what you're going to find at this YouTube channel. Keep watching. Let's walk through what you actually build your life from when you're not building on purpose. Number 1, trend. When you build from trend, you chase whatever it is in the season. It looks smart until the trend rotates, culture shifts, and your whole identity, career, family, or business evaporates. Number 2, attention seeking. When you build from attention seeking, you're building for applause, not real change. You turn your life, your work, and even your calling into a content strategy for social media engagement. Don't do that. Number 3, fear. Fear of being irrelevant, not being good enough, being broke, alone, left behind. When you build from fear, you copy what seems to work so you can quickly escape the fears that plague your life. Number 4, ego. When you build from ego, your mantra is, I want to be that guy. I want to be that girl. And your path becomes a mirror, not a mission. Decisions get made to project an image of yourself that is not true, which never creates a real and sustainable life. Greed. This one is easy. When you build from greed, you want to extract as much as you can to compensate for your insecurities. You think money will compensate for your past failures. What you don't see is this. Money is an amplifier. Whatever was not working still won't work. But now it's 10 times more destructive. You get short-term wins and long-term rot in your soul, in your relationships, in your work, in your spirit. Number 6, external validation. When you build from external validation, you're led by whoever shouts loudest, not by what's right. Friends, followers, bosses, investors, platforms, spouse, parents. And if the applause shifts, direction shifts. Number 7, convenience. When you build from convenience, you go for whatever is easiest to start, to do, to explain, easiest to justify. Comfort-driven choices create comfort-driven outcomes. Average, forgettable, shallow. You flatline in total mediocrity. That's bad. Number 8, accident. When you build from accident, you are an empty bag in the wind. You go for, yeah, sure, why not? No foundation, no conviction, just motion that feels like momentum. Number 9, identity compensation. When you build from it, you are trying to heal an internal wound with an external win. Your identity is totally broken, and wherever you build next becomes a duct tape, but you're still leaking from the wound. And finally, number 10, wrong advice. When you build from it, you're using a broken playbook from people who never built or rebuilt anything from the ashes. They hand you incomplete pieces of the puzzle. You inherit their confusion and they call it guidance, charging a lot of money for it. Did I miss anything? That's a lot of stuff. As you can see, without purpose, your life is built on cheap substitutes, and cheap substitutes don't last. They crash. Trend instead of truth, fear instead of faith, ego instead of calling, convenience instead of obedience. Purpose is the starting point, and there is no true substitute for purpose. Purpose drives alignment between God's design, your true identity, and the life you are actually called to build. When you build on purpose, you can delete the world's definition for success and still know you're on track, because you're measuring your life by alignment and obedience, not by applause and outcomes. Old me, new me, NewMeFy. I would say old me builds life on trend, attention-seeking, fear, ego, greed, external validation, convenience, accident, identity compensation, wrong advice, always reacting to the world, never acting from God's will and plan. Always confused, always restless, always lost. But the new me builds life in purpose, from purpose, on purpose, treats life as stewardship, measures success in accomplishing God's purpose and plan for their life. Couldn't care less about the world. Realize something. God's plan and purpose for your life are your unfair advantage. It's like you were an athlete on spiritual doping, perfectly legal in the eyes of God. If you're a true Christian, dependence is just another word for power. So I would say refuse prayerlessness. Refuse to go back to your old ways of thinking and doing. Go and ask God for the plan and purpose for your life. It has your name on it. Then stick to it. Be loyal, be faithful, be obedient. And from that place, it'll be impossible for you not to win in the only scoreboard that matters. If something in you knows you're not living the life you were born for because of being building on fragile substitutes instead of the one and only purpose, keep watching. These teachings will pull you out of your old self into the new you on purpose. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment with your takeaway. To the next video, signing off.